Good afternoon, everybody. This is my next project. This here is a Husqvarna weed whacker. This was given to me by my neighbor for me to fix, to have, to hold, to do whatever it is that I want to do with it. And he told me it does not run, it does not work anymore. So I'm doing this video to give you guys an idea of what it looks like all over. And as you can tell, there is dried on grass and dirt and everything all over it. So therefore, that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to do, is clean everything up. I had been looking at this earlier before I went and made this video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spin everything. So when you look at this here turns nicely like it's supposed to. So that tells me that this is fine. I'm probably gonna have to take this apart and put grease inside it. The on-off switch here works, or at least I think it works. But this part works. It looks nice. The spring motion on the trigger seems to work. And when I look inside here, all the what I should do is tell you that this here screw takes this cover off. So therefore this here screw takes this cover off. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take this out so you guys have an idea of what it looks like underneath. Right? There we go. Put that right there. This is the air filter cover. This is what the air filter looks like. This is, oh wow, what do you know? That is pretty clean. So when I hit the throttle, it looks like there's free moving parts, like freely moving parts. There's nothing stuck or anything. So what that tells me is that that line, or the throttle line, does not need to be greased, but I will do it anyways. And if I was to take this off, I'm just wondering what it looks like underneath, because now that I just figured out it's a freaking screw. Okay, here we go. Okay, so taking this off, looking at it, that's what it looks like underneath this. So yeah. Now here, it looks like somebody went and put on a brand new spark plug, but they couldn't get it running for some reason. So that's baffling to me. So I did pull the cord here. So when I do pull the cord, I get compression and I'm able to pull it. If I am able to pull this, then what that tells me is that there is nothing seized in this engine. The cylinder is not seized, the piston is not seized, the crank is not seized. There is probably zero rust in this engine whatsoever. So I am now wondering if this does not run. This carburetor right here, that's the primer bulb. This carburetor, which is right here, it probably just needs to be cleaned out, taken out and cleaned out. I'm going to do that, but this here gas tank, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flush it out. Put brand new gas into it. I'm going to look at those fuel lines. I'm probably going to change those fuel lines anyways. The muffler, the exhaust, the spark plug. I'm going to look at everything. I'm not going to fiddle too much with this engine block as much as I'm just going to clean everything up and get it looking sparkly, clean and brand new. I am going to take a look at the inside of this shaft here. I'm going to take this out, take the shaft out and grease it. And what else work can I do? There's probably not much. It's probably just a simple fix, like fixing that, cleaning this up and cleaning the carburetor out. And then putting new gas into it and firing it up. But this would be a 2-stroke, which would mean it just goes up and down like a 2 strokes. If it was a 4-stroke, there would be a camshaft. There is no camshaft on this at all whatsoever. So getting you idea of what it looks like. So yeah, so I have a multimeter. I will test the plug here. I will test this here, the wiring, to make sure everything's good grounded, and that will be my project right now. That's it. Okay, so on the same unit, the Husqvarna there, I got everything all cleaned up. It's all nice and pretty and shiny. I went and used that foam cleaner, and believe it or not, hand sanitizer. It worked. So it's all nice and sparkly clean. I wiped everything, wiped and brushed. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show everybody what I'm gonna take apart here. So this carburetor comes out with these two screws, this one here and this one here. And once I take those out, this here will come out, and then the carburetor itself, this one, will come out separately. This here black part will stay in. That's attached to the cylinder. That's just for the gas to go through. I'm going to have to disconnect the line from right there, as well as that looks like about it. So once I take those two screws out, this carburetor should come out after I disconnect that. I'm just going to look at this a little further. I'm also going to have to disconnect those two gas lines right there. Remember which one goes which. So once I get that out, I'm going to place it right here for everybody to look at. Here we go. Okay, so when this carburetor came out, I found out that these two screws here were holding this part here onto the carburetor. So those two screws need to be taken out of here. Those two, taking it right there, off of this. Once you get those two screws out, then you need to take these needle nose pliers, and you need to pull on the end of that, this knob here. Pull on the end of it, pull it out, because it's like right into there. It just sits right into there and just goes right inside. So now that we got the carburetor out, I'm going to put it there just like it's. Now we're just going to analyze it. We're going to go turn it around. We're going to look at it underneath, on the side. So it looks to me like there's 3 parts to this carburetor. And those 3 parts are what I'm going to take apart very carefully. So when we look at the gas line, this is what we were seeing. So here, my focus isn't working well on this camera. I'm gonna get a better camera. So anyhow, this is throttle. Goes in and out, like you see that right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this apart, and I'll do the next video with what it looks like with all the pieces inside. And when I look at this, there's no name on the carburetor. I think it's just a regular still or Husqvarna carburetor, just no name on it. Okay, I'll probably find a name later, but no, I guess not. I guess Husqvarna makes their own carburetors. Okay, holy fuck everybody, I just lost a whole bunch of parts here. So, this is the assembly of that carburetor. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to explain to you right now. When you take these 4 bolts off, and you tap this to get this off, this spring right there is ready to jump into action and snap this off like boing! Boing, 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 boing. Like, holy crap. Okay, so, the spring goes right into that groove there, that orange groove, and this here goes onto this part here, like that. So that cylinder, that silver side is up. If you can see that, that is up. Goes into there, This here looks like this. Do you see? Do you see? Yes. So the gasket is on the outside. This is a separate gasket. This goes on the outside. This here that goes up and down the diaphragm, that it goes against the metal. So, metal, diaphragm, gasket. That is that. This part here, that this sits directly onto this is what it looks like on this side. Do you see that? That's one side, this is the other. There we go, do you see that? Alright. Now, this part here has a spring, which is right there. Be careful of that spring, that'll probably come out on you too. But this is the gasket part right there. Do you see that? If you can see that. And that is a rubber O-ring. Okay. And it just sits there. This here part that we were talking about with the line where it holds on to, like right there. So this part goes right there, and it fits into that hole. So I'm going to put it into there. I can't really do this with one hand. Let me try to, there we go. So this goes into there, and where the hell? It's backwards. It goes like this. See, those two screws that I took out there, they go into those sides. I hold this down, and this is the throttle, which turns, and when you turn it, it opens up the air intake. You see that? It opens it up, and this just comes out. It slides right out just like that when you take out the carburetor. So I'm just going to do another pan as to how everything goes together. Oh, see that spring came out? Watch out for that spring. You do not want to lose that. Okay. So, I hope this was helpful for that part of the video. Hold on a minute. Alright, so after having taken out the fuel filter, this is what it looks like for the arrangement, which is a lot more efficient than any other arrangement, with two holes drilled into the gas tank for two lines to go through. That goes right there. Now when I looked inside the gas tank, I seen a whole bunch of gunk, which is that stuff right there. So if that's right there, and I looked inside here, you probably can't see it too well, but yeah, there is gunk in the gas tank. And this here filter is so full of friggin' slime, it is unbelievable. So, what that tells me is I need to figure something out. So I gotta go into my arsenal here and look for something in particular. And here we go, some screws. So, you're not gonna believe this, but if you take these screws, any screws, whether it's something small, nuts, bolts, you put them into the gas tank, and then you rattle it around, like you freaking just rattle it around, like rah, rattle. Let those bolts, they will remove any of the hard deposits that are inside the gas tank. Then make sure you don't rattle it too hard, but they will loosen up the shit in there after you flush it out, and then you can just rinse it out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. This here, I'm just going to, oh freaking, you know what, I can probably clean that up or replace it or whatever. I'm going to clean out this line right here, flush that out, take that apart, and I'm going to work on that right now. Okay, so in order for me to put this part properly onto this hole right here, I need to use gasket maker. I'm going to put this on the perimeter, on the inside of that joint right there. I'm going to smear it on there. Then just going to snap it into place. And I just realized something that I should be explaining to you guys. You might be wondering what the hell this is. This part right here. That is just a pressure release filter type valve for the gas tank. Now, on most gas tanks, you have a lid here that when it closes, when you close it tight, there is a small filter that is built into it, which relieves the pressure right in the middle here, or there's little holes on the side. This one in particular does not have that at all. You look inside there, there's just a rubber gasket to seal this right here from the gas from flowing out. But this here, if there is a lot of pressure that is inside the gas tank, some of the air can escape if there is too much. And this here will just maintain its seal, so that way there's no explosive pressure in here. This relieves the air pressure that is in there. It's a small filter. It goes just like not even maybe an inch or so inside the gas tank, or if anything at all. But yeah, that's what this part is here, and that is what I'm going to work on right now, putting this in. Okay, so right now I'm testing a spark plug. I just washed out the boot here, which connects to the spark plug, and I was winding it with this here, and I was pulling on it. I was wondering, why the hell is there no spark? And I was wondering why the fuck there was no spark. There was no spark. I was pulling it, cleaning it, and there was no freaking spark. And then I went over to here, and I realized that I was in the stop position. I cannot be in the stop position. I need to be in the start position. And then I got a son of a bitchin' spark. So I'm going to start it up for you. I'm going to show you that spark. So here it is. See it? Okay, so you see that there was a spark here happening. So when you have a spark like that that's happening with here, that means this ignition coil is good, which means these wires are also good, which means this switch is working. Before, when I was trying to start it, there was no spark, and then when I remembered to put the friggin' into a start position, then there was a spark. So this switch works. This is a good spark plug. This is a good boot. There's a good connection. The wiring here is good to the ignition coil, and if I have a spark, that means the flywheel is also working. So I got the gasket sealer on there. It's drying right now as we speak. The fuel lines are hooked up appropriately to the carburetor. The carburetor has been analyzed, cleaned out. This part here has been properly assembled. When you hit the trigger, this part here moves freely, as you can see. So what I all need to do now is just put the spark plug back into here, put the cover on, put this cover on, and then put some gas into the gas tank, and then fire it up. So when I pulled this, there was no movement coming from the other end. Like I'm gonna try to pull it. If you can see the head I'm pulling it, the head is not spinning. So what that tells me is there is a clutch in this area here, which only engages when this engine is running at high speed. I don't know that 100% for sure, because I did not take it apart to look at it. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the spark plug back in, put the cover back in, put some gas into it, and then start it up and fire it up. I'm going to put this into stop. Okay, and then I'm going to try to fire it up and get it going. So that is going to have, okay, too much rum. I'm going to get this going right now.